Hello, I'm James, the Grumpy Petrolhead, and today we're going to have a look at this 99-year-old car. Oh! Gotcha! Off we go again. This is where the car's happiest. Country roads, trundling along, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the ride, and enjoying the experience. Driving this car on a lovely day, it really is a mood lifter. If you're feeling a little grumpy, then take the old car for a spin. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Behold. I think that's beautiful. This car is a Standard Wellesbourne, made by the Standard Motor Company in 1926. This is a very rare car. It's actually one of, we think, 2 remaining in the world. They only made this model for 1 year in 1926. Now, Standard was a large company on a par with Morris, and we didn't actually know much about the Standard Motor Car Company until we actually bought the car. Of course, we did this the wrong way round. We bought the car and then did some research. Probably not the recommended way of buying an old car, but there we have it. Catherine's late father used to drive a Standard van back in the day, and I remembered that Catherine had bought her father a book on Standard cars. So we searched around the house trying to find this book, which we did. And flicking through the book, doing my research on Standard, I found a picture of this car. How about that? What we found out about Standard Motor Cars, apart from them being a very large, important manufacturer of cars, that they also made tractors under licence to Massey Ferguson. They also made aero engines in World War II and shortly after. So they're a big concern. And something else I didn't know about Standard cars was their link to Jaguar cars. Jaguar's first car was built on a standard chassis with a standard engine, and that was the SS100. Obviously, SS, the name was changed to Jaguar leading up to the war. Something else I didn't know about Standard cars is they actually bought Triumph cars, and a long time ago I used to have a Triumph Spitfire, and the logo read Standard Triumph, and it was only till after I bought this car that I knew what that meant. Hope you can hear me. It's a bit loud. Well, enough talking. Let's go for a drive. Here we are, driving a 99-year-old car. Hey! This is such fun, isn't it? Oh, what a splendid gear change. Come on! See if we can get up this hill. See how it glides up the steepest of hills. Sorry about my blowing exhaust. Little leak from the manifold. I think if I take it apart, it could end up as a big job. But it'll have to be done. Oh, we're going to go for a third gear. No, we're in third gear. Retard the ignition a little bit. See if we can make it up this hill. Come on, you can do it. No problem. Well, here we are, driving a 99-year-old car, and it's great fun. Oh, handle's pretty good. Feels a lot faster than we're actually going. I feel like I'm doing 100 miles an hour. I'm actually doing 30. Now this car was bought by two sisters in 1926 in a town called Honington in Devon. We have the original logbook. The two sisters didn't drive. The understanding was that the owner or the owner's wife of the garage that they sold them the car would take them on shopping trips. Apparently the two sisters spent a lot of their time abroad. That's rather nice, isn't it? So they kept the car until they both passed away. And then the car got passed to a local farmer. And the local farmer's idea was to cut the sides off and use it as a pickup around his farm. Unfortunately, he never did. It stayed in his barn for around 40 years. And then in the 70s, the car was sold to a local man. And this local man stripped the car down, repainted it, and got it back on the road. The car hasn't really been touched since then. Oh dear! Not sure if you can hear that. But the car is literally bubbling. The car vents to this pipe here underneath. So when the car overheats, the water expands, goes into an overflow there, and runs down out the bottom of the engine. So sometimes on a hot day, it'll have a little accident on the floor. Another job that needs doing. Here we have the interior of the car. Those seat backs are original. These aren't, they've been replaced. And all in the back here, that's all original. So all the dash, again, is original, which is, it's great to think about the originality of this car, and the driving experience would be exactly the same as it was 99 years ago. Here's the pedal layout. As you can see, we have a centre throttle. There's not a lot of room in between those pedals, but it seems to work fine. There's our crash gearbox and our handbrake. There's the view from the driving seat. The wipers are like those old Land Rover ones. They work off a vacuum from the intake of the engine. So when you're going up a hill, they literally don't work. Hence the little handle. This is a 2-litre overhead valve 4-cylinder engine with a little Zenith carburettor in there. This is the choke, simple choke, works well though, and the carburettor has a tickler on here so we can flood the carburettor for easy cold starting, and a couple of levers here that goes down to the bottom of the engine, and that's so that you can drain the water out of the block. Nice old klaxon here that makes quite a bit of a noise. Now this is interesting. Should you run low on oil, we have an early warning system. So this dipstick is actually a whistle. You see here? So the idea is that should the oil pressure drop below this level, the the crankcase pressure obviously creates a lot of sucking and blowing, which means in theory this whistle's going to blow. Whether you can hear it above the engine, I don't know. It's not something I want to test. I haven't actually blown down there yet to see if it makes a noise, but maybe I'll try and find a volunteer for that. I'd like to show you the very accurate fuel gauge on this car. It's foolproof, mistake proof, the most accurate fuel gauge How about that? So let's say it's a hot day and you want a bit of ventilation in your car. Well, they've thought of everything. We've come inside to warm my hands up. It is February, so a few years ago we were contacted by the Standard Owners Club. Now, they'd been contacted by a fella in Australia. Now, this chap had been clearing out a house for a relative, and he found an owner's manual for a Standard. In fact, a Standard 1224, which is the designation name of the Wellesbourne. So the Standard Owners Club put him in touch with myself, and he happened to be coming to England on holiday a few weeks later. So we met up with him, and he very kindly handed over this original owner's manual. How about that? It's a small world, isn't it? Have a dilemma. The Standard Wellesbourne is nearly 100 years old now. It's a very original car. Aside from the paint and the seat bases, but we don't think the car has ever we don't think the engine has ever been apart, and it looks like that the brake linings are original as well. And when I drive the car, I am aware of the originality of it, and I do have a concern that something might go wrong. I'm worried that something in the car might break, which means that the car may have to be rebuilt, resulting in it not being quite so original. We do use the car once a year for the Standard Register Run, which is a very enjoyable event. And I'm wondering whether I should use it as little as possible, with the worry in mind that something might go wrong. So please, can you leave me some comments and tell me what you think? Do you think I should just park it up and keep it as a very rare car, or should I just use it and enjoy it? What do you think? Let me know. It'd be great to hear from you. Next week on the Grumpy Petrolhead, we're going to be looking at a 1929 BSA side valve. And hopefully the following week we'll be looking at, also from the 1920s, a Ford Model T. So if that's of interest to you, please stick around and we'll see you next time. Cheerio.